Welcome back. As you can see, we're doing something a little different today, and I'm really excited about this. I have been talking a little bit about it over time, but now I'm going to introduce it to you. We kind of talked previously about some of the custom Ultimate Decades challenge rules I had regarding events and stuff. And so let me just go in. Links are in the description below. But this challenge is inspired by Morbid's Ultimate Decades challenge, obviously. And I get so excited when I see other YouTubers doing the challenge, but like in these fantasy worlds, in these made up kingdoms. And I just love that. But like, am I creative enough to create, some of these events that could happen in these different universes? So I enjoy playing historically, and there are set events that happen throughout history that we already know about. But I definitely, have been interested in playing with different rules or different, like a kingdom that's not patriarchal or this or that. And, so definitely some stuff I've been interested in. You kind of saw that a little bit with my, failed attempt at the Royal Story series. So this is kind of coming back to the feel of that, but in an Ultimate Decades format. So this is a guide to help you get your own challenge going, where you use Ultimate Decades as a tool to kind of help you play in this own universe that you created. So obviously, change the numbers however you wish. I'm just pasting some of Morbid's guides here. You can use whatever you like. I should probably put that on the next page. But I recommend using a spreadsheet. I'll show you mine in just a second. Please see Morbid's documentation if you need any clarification on anything. This is written up assuming that you know about Morbid's Ultimate Decades Challenge already. So I don't really belabor any points that she already figured out. So once again, marriage and baby rules, death rules, we're going to keep all that. One of the things that I've changed here, is just events. So since there are no historical events to take from, we can roll a d6 each decade. Based on the number you roll, you'll have an event from your below list occurring in that decade. You can also then roll a d10 to find out what year in the decade it occurs. Just adjust any percentages you'd like once again. So we have things like lose money, gain money, plagues, famine, war, natural disasters. So lots of things that could happen to your Sims. And then I just wrote up what are some questions you want to ask yourself when you're world building. And so I put my example that we're going to play with in pink. So you'll be able to see that. So are you going to play with one household or rotationally? So I'm going to have a main household, but I will be playing with the other households as well. So the main household isn't really a true main household, like in the same way that, you would do in Morbids. How many Sims are you going to start with? Do you want to roll for them right off the bat? What is their story? So I'm going to start with a married couple. I'm not rolling them to start because I need them both to live, and they are being forced into an arranged marriage. Also, if you just wait until we go over this document, I will bring you over to the family tree where I will explain to you the history of our kingdom, which I have spent way too much time thinking about and spent like literally an entire week writing up. So what world do you want to live in? Is there travel permitted between worlds? So I'm saying we're going to live in Mount Komorebi. Travel is permitted, but only for special occasions. And that's like, you inherited your title. You need the emperor to kind of bestow that title upon you, or like there's a special event happening in the capital, but it's going to take you a while to get there. Are your Sims peasant? How much money should they have? Blah, blah, blah. So they will be royalty, actually. So we are going to give them an estate. It's a very small kingdom. I'm only going to give them 100,000 simoleon estate. We're not going to have them be super, super rich. It's not going to be an easy life. I picked Mount Komorebi because of the harsh weather conditions, so I wanted it to kind of be, difficult to live there. What careers? Any careers, really. I haven't really figured out exactly what time period this takes in, but it is like royalty, knights, warriors, assassins kind of thing. They will make money through their estate. This is a warrior kingdom, so the heir will be chosen by who has the most athletic skills and war honors. So that is exciting. what age do your Sims marry at? Are there dowries? Can they divorce? So in my example, Sims can marry as young adults. They don't have to pay dowry. The dowry is kind of their honor, their esteem, their reputation. They can divorce, but they have to convince a priest that their reason is valid. Reasons include anything dishonorable. Again, honor is really important here. So, like not taking care of your illegitimate child, running away from a fight. So, that is the kind of thing that's happening here. What is considered taboo? Premarital woohooing, spell casting. So, premarital woohoo is actually allowed, and so is fighting, but cheating in a fight or competition is taboo. People who aren't very athletic are looked down upon, and spellcasters must either be ambassadors or live in Glimmerbrook. So, one of the things I am going to explain about spellcasters is I've kind of created a religion around spellcasters. So, in my save here, what is going to happen is if your sim dies and then you plead with the Grim Reaper and the Grim Reaper spares them, then they gain magical spellcasting powers. So that kind of is something that happens as a result of the Watcher or Grim or whoever kind of blessing them to continue living their life when they're not supposed to. So it's kind of like a religion thing. And so most of the time, if that does happen to you, then you're kind of expected to join like the other spellcasters in the Holy City in Glimmerbrook. And so that's the lore there, where you're really, there is a priest that lives in the kingdom, and there's only one per kingdom, and everybody else lives in Glimmerbrook. So that obviously will create conflict for some people who have to leave their families. Technology, computers, refrigerators. Really, honestly, I'm just like anything that makes my life easy, but not something like overtly like a TV. Sims can adopt, but only if it's an existing child. Are we woohooing or trying for baby? There's no birth control, so YOLO. What chance of getting pregnant are there? So I just copied those numbers from Morbid. We can have pets. You can take medicine but not go to the hospital. Where are your babies born? Under the care of a priest. So again, kind of bringing in that religion aspect. Courtship and weddings. So in my world, there is like a kind of Olympic event where singles show off their skills in hope of attracting a partner. And then there'll be like another party afterwards. And so either that or like families who have connections will arrange marriages. They're allowed to go on dates unchaperoned and are expected to just kind of be honorable people. And if they're not, then there is a social stigma against that. Weddings, once again, under the supervision of a priest. The architecture, I'm thinking, is like East Asian, maybe Japanese, because we are in Mount Komorebi. So I was like, we should kind of go with that. So I am thinking medieval winter fortress Japanese vibes. And the clothes that they'll wear are clothes for the winter, right? So furs, kind of warrior combat clothing. The time frame, how does the world change over time? So that's something that I actually haven't figured out yet. It's kind of up to you. Like if you think historically, things happen that advance society. Like we get computers, we get, women's rights, all that stuff. So do you want your world to change over time to become different and stuff? And I think I'm just going to figure that out as I go. Maybe if I like roll for a war and then they lose the war, will that be indicative of, this other kingdom or country or whatever that they lost the war against being, like imposing their values on our society, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out as I go. Religion. Once again, spellcasters are given their power from the Watcher and are considered holy. Holy Land is in Grimmerbook. You become a spellcaster by, dying and having someone plead with the Grim Reaper and then coming back to life, and now you're a spellcaster. After such event, they are required to live in Glimmerbrook unless they are the priest assigned to that territory. If they decide to hide and stay home, once a decade, the priest that presides over their land will be checking to see if anyone has any powers. Priests can help heal, bring food during famine, marry Sims, mediate disputes, etc. So they actually have a lot of power in this world. Holidays. So holidays are something too. So that is the holidays that they celebrate. You have to come up with, I like to come up with at least 4, so you can have once a week. So I have the Empire's anniversary, the day our kingdom was made part of the Empire. Prosperity Day, a celebration of the Watcher's generosity. So like gnomes, eggs, anything that's like going to give them money. Remembrance, so that's kind of like a Day of the Dead, Mourning Day, Remembrance Day. And then the Olympic event that I talked about earlier, kind of a love day where, singles kind of try to get together. So what is the history here? The kingdom was conquered. I guess I can just tell you that when we look at the family tree, but I'll tell you about it. Any other rules? Sims cannot travel during snowstorms. And then also once a decade, I guess I should put year 5. Because I guess the first year of the decade is technically 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 4, I don't know. We'll just say 5. Okay. Once a decade, Sims have to go and hunt werewolves. So because it's like snowy terrain, I figured there'd be like beasts in the woods. But then I'm like, okay, but how can I incorporate that? I'll make it so that werewolves are like, attacking their territory, but they don't know that they're werewolves. So like people are werewolves and hiding and all this stuff. So we'll come back to that when it comes. But if they roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4, they live. If they roll a 5, they die. If they roll a 6, they are turned into a werewolf. If they have athletic level 10, they can live. And if they're an elder, they have to get a worse chance of living. And then if a sim wants to ascend the throne, they have to prove their worth by climbing the mountain. So that's what I have in this document. It's really not a lot, but I just wanted to give you some things to think about. It's to when you decide to do this on your own. And then I just wanted to say some of the households I created using your Sims that you uploaded to my hashtag, Megan Plays Sims. So if you want to upload Sims for me, I am very happy to have them. So I just wanted to kind of call a little shout out to some of the people who have made the Sims that I used in here. So we have like Sebmarin, S Sims Player 123, Eva La Bella, Mark Antpit, Hiru Makage 21, Leto 29, Cool 2228, 2002068 ESB. Sebmarin really out here uploading the most Sims. Thank you very much. So let me tell you next. Well, okay, so let's go through our spreadsheet next. We have the typical morbid spreadsheet. Really nothing special to see here. I just changed the years. And I'm going to honestly use the same roles. I'm not interested in doing that. I wrote down everyone who I currently have in my save. Anyone who will get married, I haven't rolled for babies yet. I think we'll roll for each relationship. And then people who won't marry, I did roll to see if they would have any babies. And only one of them did actually get it, but she's going to have 8. And then our main household is actually getting 10 baby tries. Like I'm not going to... As of right now, I might change my mind later. But for right now, we're not going to be having unlimited babies with our main household because we're going to be playing a lot in other households too. So here's just the events section. Why are you like that? I could have sworn I fixed that already, but whatever. Yeah, so here's the events section. So we'll have like, different events that happen there. And then I did just write out some notes about like the people, what I think they're like and stuff so that we have some ideas when we go play with them. So let me tell you about the history of this kingdom. It's so interesting. I spent so much time. It's like really sad. I spent so much time thinking about this. So, and I created all the Sims from your Sims. So very exciting. So first we start with King Kristoff and Queen Emmeline. They are, let's see, King Kristoff and his wife fostered competition between their eldest twin sons. That's Maximilian and August. They have 4 kids, including Bastian and Joffrey. So between Maximilian and August, they fostered a big competition so that one of them would get the throne. They thought that this would make whichever son did end up getting the crown a better king. But this caused so much conflict among the nobility, so they broke into 2 factions and used their own children as pawns. So that includes the Russell family, who they married their daughter to Maximilian. As you can see, that didn't do anything. And then also in the Waldrick family, I found them as young, which was so exciting because there's Takana, who is the mother of Damaris. So from our other series, so I thought that would be so funny. We can say that she like left to go marry into another family in an alternate universe. But yeah, so that was fun. Here are all the Waldricks, and one of them did end up marrying the second twin, August. The twins always bullied their younger brothers, Bastian and Joffrey. Wait a second. I think she's supposed to be dead. She must be. She'd be so old right now. She must be dead. Hold on. I should kill her before I forget. So yes, I did make a new folder for them. What was her name? I already forget. Nope. Nope. I remember now. Sorry for the segue here. I just don't want somebody to be alive that's not supposed to be. That is going to bother me. Okay. So, anyway, she's dead. Dead, dead, dead. All the old people are dead. Only youngins. It's not loaded yet. Okay, we'll come back to that. Oh, her parents are... Oh, you know what? I think what I did was I, like, didn't worry about Sims that weren't going to be in our current space. Like, we're not going there right now. We're not going to the current... Like, we're not traveling outside of our space for right now, so I don't feel the need to keep up with these other Sims for right now. So, like, you could see that, like, some of them, their parents and stuff are still alive, but that's not really the case anymore. But I just didn't update in case we want to use them later and, like, make them have children and blah, blah, blah. So we can always come back to that. But for right now, the younger brothers were bullied. Bastian, this third son here, he was always trying to shield the youngest because Joffrey was actually a lot younger than all of them. And so Bastian kind of doted on him. And, you know, Joffrey was always like a kind person. And so unlike their older brothers, that Bastian kind of played that middle role. He was the only person in the family that he cared about. He thought that neither of his brothers would actually make a good king, but he didn't really have any power because the two noble factions were both supporting each one of his brothers, so he didn't really have any plans himself. He didn't really have a way to kind of bolster his own power and take the throne from one of his brothers. So, the truth was that because the kingdom that this family is from, very, very patriarchal, very strict, and so he was really never going to let anyone but his eldest son become the king, and so he was always going to pick the elder. He was just kind of using August to make Max better, which when the king died, they kind of figured out. So Maximilian tried to ascend to king, but August, so angry about being, you know, used like that, ended up killing his brother. And in the chaos, Bastian then stabbed August in the back so that he could become king. So both brothers were killed, and then there was a total craziness, right? Because everyone was like, whoa, what's going on? So Bastian suddenly is ascending to the role of king, but the nobility was not supportive of that. They did not like that. So Bastian was like, how can I prove to them that I'm going to be a good king? So what he does is he starts a war. He's like, if I can win a war for them, then I can prove myself. In that same year, his mother did end up passing away of a broken heart. She was devastated after the death of her husband and then two of her sons at the hands of the other. After conquering the kingdom he went to war with, I know this is a lot, you guys. I'm telling you a story here before we get started so that you know the full context, also because I put so much effort into it, so you have to listen to it now. After conquering the other kingdom and making them part of his territory, he claimed the title of emperor. So now he's Emperor Bastian because he now has kingdoms under his territory. To prevent an uprising from the former royal family, he married their princess. That's Javari here. So she was actually from a matriarchal society, but because she was married off, her brother ended up inheriting that throne unexpectedly. Not like not only women could become the ruler, but like it was eldest daughter first. So She was meant to become the next queen, but he married her instead, so she became empress. And then this kind of had the added benefit of him not having to really choose a side among the noble factions because, obviously each one of them was kind of vying for that top spot, and they thought that one would be chosen by whichever twin became the king, but then Bastion came in and ruined it all for them. So they were not happy. They were still bitter even after many years, and were deciding that, they should start backing Joffrey as a candidate for emperor, for king, because they wanted to get rid of Bastion because they were mad that he kind of made fools of them all. But Joffrey, like we said, is so nice and sweet and kind, and he didn't really want to deal with that. He loved his older brother very much. He did not feel like, he wasn't a threat to his brother, but because the nobility was kind of pushing this, Bastion was worried that they would try and put Joffrey, however unwillingly, on the throne. And so to prevent that, he decided to start another war and conquer another kingdom, which is Mount Komorebi. So he conquers Mount Komorebi and makes it part of his empire and puts his brother on the throne. So he put his brother on the throne, and that kind of is a banishment in a way. Like, Joffrey was then sent away to this cold, harsh environment where he really could never come back in order to prevent the nobles from using him. So it was tough, but it also was kind of a reward for his brother, for his loyalty. Here, you can be a king. So it was a tough situation. Now, we're going to kind of separate into two stories because each king gets the full story of what's going on in that kingdom until they die, because I didn't want to have to jump around sim. So we're going to start over here. Bastion only had one son, Quentyn. He did not want his children fighting over the throne like him and his siblings, so he decided to only have one son. And again, if he had a daughter, it wouldn't have mattered because women can't inherit the throne here. Quentyn ended up resenting his father because he was raised so strictly. Like, Bastion was like, okay, all my eggs are in this one basket, so you have to be the perfect king. And so he was very strict, and Quentyn kind of became resentful because Bastion was continuing to have a relationship with his brother, even from afar, continuing to love his brother. And Quentyn's like, you can love someone like a son, but not me. So that really made him super bitter. He lives to mess with our royal family now. So later on, as a test, because Bastion wanted his son to be just as good a king as he was, he sent Quentyn to conquer his own kingdom for the emperor. And so during the war, Quentyn demanded that they also get a royal support from Mount Komorebi. So that is kind of where we're going to come over and join stories here. So after his brother sent him away to be a foreign king, he gave up his rights to the emperor's throne and changed his name to Komorebi. Joffrey felt guilty for displacing the royals of Mount Komorebi. Obviously, he didn't feel good about that. He kind of came in here and was like, I'm your king now. And they obviously didn't like that, especially since they are like a warrior nation. And he, as we've established, is like a very peaceful, kind, loving, not that they can't be kind and loving, but you know what I mean? Like the stereotypical pacifist. So he decided to give them a lot of political power as advisors and stuff, and give them a title and everything, because he felt like it would kind of stop some of the turbulence of him kind of coming into this new place and taking over. So also one of his best friends decided to come with him. So his friend from back home gave up his own title back at their home and then got a new title here. So we do have one other family that kind of came from the same origins as ours. So that was really nice. Over time, meeting with the former royal family, which is this family right here, you can see I kind of put really heavy makeup on the ladies and make it, cool. I don't know. I was like, how can I make this visually interesting? So he ended up getting close to the former princess, Naoto. Now, she actually was not super liked by her family because she was very similar to Joffrey. Her parents put all of their stuff into Kazuma, who was her brother, who was definitely, indicative of their culture and stuff. And so the two of them ended up falling in love and getting married, despite many nobles not feeling that she would actually make a good queen, because the kingdom values strength. And marrying her despite her being from the royal family, because she didn't have that strength, it didn't really endear him to the nobility of the kingdom anyway. But they did do their best to raise their children in a way that would, embody the culture of the land that they've come to, embody Naoto's culture, and really kind of assimilate them, because the people aren't going to be ruled by a king that is not like them. So they did a really good job with their daughters. Both of them ended up being really excellent warriors, and their son was a little bit like him, but they were like, you know what, we have 3 kids, it'll be okay. So his 2 daughters grew up strong, while his son was more like him. Then the command came to send one of his children to war. So he gave them a choice, and his eldest daughter, Akiko, ended up volunteering. So if we go back over here, we'll explain. Because, keep in mind, the Becker kingdom was very patriarchal. So Akiko comes as a woman surrounded by male soldiers, and they're all offended that she's a woman. They're like, how dare you send a woman to war? Like, that's so disrespectful to us. And so they did not treat her very well, and they were mad also because she was super competent and really good, and she was raised in a much harsher environment, and so therefore was a lot stronger. And because of this, no one really had her back. So during the battle, she ended up getting killed in battle because no one was looking out for her, like the way that they would look out for each other during the battle. So Quentin ended up kind of being happy that, that caused a problem for his cousin's family, because he doesn't like them, because he resents his father. Is that fair? No, Quentin, it's not, but he's a terrible person. So Quentin ended up failing to win the war. So Bastian had to step in and win it for him. He was not happy. He expected his son to be better than that. And he was angry that he had to do something about it. So he ends up actually arranging a marriage between that royal family. This is Annie and her royal family. And so they ended up forcing Quentin into an arranged marriage in order to, because Annie's kingdom was laughing at him. He lost, he was a loser. So, that kind of caused a little bit of problems because Quentin did not want to marry Annie. And then he ended up taking a mistress. This is Melina, and he took a mistress. So she actually is not part of any of the factions, so there wasn't really any complications there. That is when Bastian ended up passing away. So Bastian ended up passing away. Immediately after becoming the emperor, Quentin divorced his wife and married his mistress. He dedicates his time to ruining the lives of his cousins because of resentment towards his father. Since Komorebi is part of the empire, they have no choice but to obey his orders, knowing that... okay, so now, coming back over here... let's see. Here we go. Yeah, he later announced his other daughter, Haruko, as the heir, and the people were happy to have someone that represents them. But unfortunately, because Quentin had lost face with the other kingdom by divorcing Annie, and because that other kingdom could 100% beat him in battle, Quentin basically ordered Haruko to get married to their current prince, Dane. So he ended up sending Haruko away, and kind of using that also as a way to hurt the Komorebi family because she was their heir. She was supposed to be their queen. So now Joffrey kind of finds himself in big trouble. He is having a rebellion forming in his kingdom because of the disrespect that the empire is causing them and kind of jerking them around. And so he ends up having to name Kazuya as his heir. So Kazuya is the heir because he's the last child, even though his son was never super embodying the spirit of their culture. So Kazuya, who really was a good person, wanted to make his family proud, did not want to have a problem because of the situation with his family. He ended up kind of arranging a marriage for himself with Teuchi, so that because she was from a very prominent family and which was very well respected, and he kind of thought, okay, I'll marry her and people will calm down a bit, and then I'll make sure that our children are, raised in the way that they should be. So that brings us to Kazuya after his father dies, after becoming king. They spent all their efforts in raising their son in a way that would make him an accepted king. They did want to have more children, but they weren't having really any luck having children, so they made sure. Okay, so Daisuke, first off, excellent. Like this, the king that everybody wants, right? And so they arranged a marriage for him with Elsabet, who is also from a family who is very well respected. I actually ended up losing the pictures I took of the rest of their family, but these are the only ones that lived, so that's all that matters. So unfortunately, a plague swept through the nation, and they both ended up passing away in the plague, which made Daisuke a young king. And he was still mourning the death of his parents when the emperor informed him of his marriage to Princess Ariana. So the emperor is actually her father. They're second cousins, which is a little weird, but the Sims will allow it. So, so Ariana grew up unloved by her father. As soon as he became emperor, he abandoned her and her mother, and she had to do her best to take care of her mother as her mother spiraled into a depression over the whole situation. And she really just kind of dreamed that one day she would find a place to belong, because she didn't really feel like she belonged in her father's family with her siblings and everything. So when her father told her that he was arranging a marriage for her with a foreign king, she was actually excited, because these people have no concept of her. They don't know of her as the abandoned princess. So she was actually really excited, but she's going to come to find out that the people are not happy because he had a really great match in Elisabeth, and that was an excellent match for him. And the people of the kingdom were very happy. They felt represented again. They felt like finally things were kind of calming down. And then the emperor comes in and causes another problem, brings in another outsider. So it's just really, not good. So that is where we're going to start. Our married couple are going to be Ariana and Daisuke. And they're not married yet. I am going to get them married, but that's kind of where we're starting. So these two are in an arranged marriage. Basically, they can't refuse because the emperor controls the kingdom. And poor Ariana, was going into this full of optimism, and I don't think she's going to get exactly what she wants. So that is the history of our kingdom. Now, let me show it to you, because I have not finished setting up this save file yet, but I kind of wanted to give you a setup video, show you some of the families, and introduce you to our main couple there. I actually think I do need to add... I need to add one more sim. So let's add one more sim together. And you know what? This guy will do just fine. Seb Marin coming in, but this was then edited by D2JJ. So this is William, Earl of Somerset. I'm actually going to move him. I'm just going to put him here for now. That's going to be a spa later, but for right now, I'm going to put him here. And we will actually come in to create a sim here. So I actually need a priest. So that was the problem. Wow, how did you get that many words in here? Okay, so this is William. I guess we can say that he had a lordship before he became a priest. Looks like he's romantic, hot-headed, and a horse lover, and he wants to be a mansion baron. So what we're going to do here is make him our priest, because I forgot about putting one in the game. So we're going to start there. Here he is. We can say that maybe he came from this kingdom. Initially, he was just a minor lord when he was young, and because he has scars and stuff, so maybe he was, part of this kingdom. And he was looking for the CC that is... Here we go. Oh, he's an elder, is he? Okay, well, he's an elder. So yeah, he was looking... He was from this kingdom initially. That's why he has scars and he's a bit battle-hardened. And now he is their priest. He died in battle and he was saved by the Watcher. He went and did his duty in Glimmerbrook and then was eventually allowed to come back here. And so that's his thing. So that is William de Mohun. So this is basically what I'm going to do here. I'm going to come here. He's an elder, so he needs to do his end of life rolls. 16 years. That brings us here. So William Day, I already forgot how to spell it. Mohun is going to die here. Okay. So, and I'll add him here. And he originally from Mount Komorebi and became a priest. Okay. So he's going to oversee all the weddings, all the births, all the issues. Then we have the Archer family. So these are actually cousins. Let me go to here and I can show you them. So we actually started, this is the Archer family that I downloaded from the gallery. We had Theobald and Florence with their 3 kids, and their daughter ended up marrying into the former royal family, but their sons both got married and had their own kids, and that is these 2 guys. He was a baronet, so Archer is actually the current baronet, but only because, so actually Archer is a pacifist, and the only reason he inherited the title is because Cain was never going to give Abel's son the title. So Archer really shouldn't have inherited. So that's kind of the drama between these 2, is that Archer is not a good fit for the title. Ismail wants it. We'll see where they go. The next family we have here is actually a werewolf spellcaster family. So I'm thinking, because of the rules we have regarding spellcasters and werewolves, this is the LaFay family. Because of that, we actually, did I not put, they're by S Sims Player too. But anyway, so basically what I'm thinking is that Ethan was originally, the leader of his house, and he ended up becoming a spellcaster by dying, and nobody was around when it happened except for his wife, so they decided to keep it to themselves because he's very greedy and evil and, wanted to keep his title and everything. Later, his wife ended up becoming a werewolf because during one of the battles she was attacked, and so because of that, she ended up becoming a werewolf. She's kind of mean now, but she is very loyal to her family, and her family ends up being kind of the main werewolf family that attacks the kingdom. They just don't know that they're actually werewolves. So they have kids who feel the same way as they do, or maybe don't really want to be a part of this but have no choice. So that's kind of where they're at. Down here we have, this is the family that Daisuke's fiance was from. So we have Amos and his kids, and basically, they are very angry that Daisuke is now going to get married to Ariana instead of Elizabeth. So they are very mad about that, and they are not going to stand for it. Then we have the former royal family, and they, of course, feel very strongly about getting the title back for themselves. They do not feel like our family has done a good job at all. So they are definitely going to cause some problems for us. Then we have the family that is descended from our friend that moved here with us, is the Glines family. And, we have Kyoko, who was formerly in the Matsuda family and then married into the Glines family. And she has 3 kids, and they're good allies to us. And then, of course, we do have some servants. But I should probably give the servants makeovers also. So I should write that down. You guys are helping me figure out what I still have left to do. Obviously, all the builds. But here in our household, we actually have our main couple. So this is Daisuke, Komorebi, the current king, and then Ariana is going to be the queen. They're not technically married yet, but I did change up her name and stuff. So Daisuke is the king. He's loyal and he's athletic. And then Ariana is practice makes perfect, music lover, and squeamish. So it's really going to be tough for her to acclimate. So those are all the Sims, and I just want to show you this house that I built. I'm really proud of it because I'm really actually not a very good builder, but I was doing some research on like Asian castles and stuff, and I downloaded some CC pack and of like, you know, Asian architecture stuff, and I just was really excited about it. So you guys have to look at it. Here it is. Isn't it beautiful? Um, so it's like a fortress because obviously we're warriors. So we kind of have this wall around the whole thing, and that kind of becomes over here in the corner here some storage and the like servants' quarters. And again, over on this side we have some like barracks slash night area with like their own bathroom and stuff. And then we have down here the dungeon. And then we have like a training ground in the back and a stable. We'll see about the horse. We'll see if we do that. But as for the main house, we come in and over here we have a greenhouse. We should be growing some of our own food. We need a greenhouse in this weather. And then over here we have like a chapel. I actually do want to put a like organ or something in the chapel just because I feel like we will need one. Because Ariana is a music lover. So I'll just put that right, maybe I'll put it right here. I don't know. This is kind of a small chapel, so we don't really have a lot of room. I don't know how to place this. Okay, I'll just put it like that for now. We'll see if she can even get in there. But yeah, and then we have the main house over here. You can see it kind of beautiful. And so we walk in the front door and we have a little entryway. Is there a way to like, it's kind of hard to, but entryway. And then that leads us straight into the throne room here. So here's the throne room. It has seats on either side. It's for like events and stuff. And then I have pictures of the former royal couples. So we have, there is Joffrey and his wife, and then also Kazuya and his wife. So you can kind of see who was in charge here. And his hand is not quite connecting, but that's okay. And we'll get a picture of Daisuke once he actually gets married. If we go to the right, we kind of enter the banquet room. It's got a bunch of tables and stuff. And then off the banquet room, there's like a resting area with a bathroom in case anybody, you know, needs that while they're at an event here. And then also we have a ballroom that just kind of has a dance floor and a bar and stuff. Nice balcony there. And then actually in the back here, so the barracks, you can come up here and there's like an indoor training room with the dojo mats and the yoga mats and stuff. So but this is only accessible from outside, so it's not like the party guests are going to end up over there. And then I did add a staircase to like in the future make like maybe guest rooms or something over here, but I haven't done that. This house is not finished and it won't be finished before we start because we have everything we need to get started. But anyway, to the left of the throne room is our office. I just wanted it to be here because say he's like doing his duties and stuff and then hops over to, you know, the throne room. So through the office is the kind of informal quarters. The servants can get up to the kitchen here pretty easily. There's a bathroom and stuff. And then there's an informal dining room and an informal lounge for the royal family only. And then if we go up these stairs, we end up in the royal family's quarters. So to our right is the, you know, master and missus. So here are the two suites for Daisuke and Ariana. And then if we go left, we kind of end up with the nursery and then a few generic bedrooms for future children. And then like a homework, school, children, school building, skill building kind of room. So that is really it because I haven't done anything with these upper floors. We might in the future. I think we're just going to play and see if we end up needing anything. You know, like whatever we need, we'll add. But I just wanted to show off because I'm really proud of this because I am actually not really a good builder, but I have my moments. So yeah, there's that. Is that everything I wanted to show you? I mean, I have a few things I still need to do. I'll buy them in a state. I'll add the holidays into the save. I will add builds into the save. And I should give the servants a makeover. But I think that's everything regarding this setup. We're going to have a few lots here. So like we have our and our best friends. So they're a duke. Excuse me, I'm yawning now. But we're also going to have like a bathhouse and the temple up here in this top level. If we go down, what we're going to have is a spa, kind of like a little village. So it's going to be a residential rental with a bunch of different lots that both of these families are going to live in. And then, yeah, just like a lot that's just for parties, like a ballroom, and then a bar, and then training grounds, because we're obviously a warrior population. Down here is the former royal family and our former fiance's family. We're also going to have a park, some kind of like shopping street, maybe like district, and a restaurant. So that is what we're going to have here in the next video about this. So yeah, is that it? I say as if I didn't just talk long enough to make my throat hurt. I think that might be it. Yeah, so here is our family that we're working with. Daisuke is our guy. I did give the two of them oh, this is not my right spreadsheet. I did give the two of them 10 baby rolls. We'll see what happens. And then in my notes, you have to let me know what you think. Like, what do you think we should do here? You know, like, I tried to write up what I think is going on with some of these Sims, but let me know if you have any ideas or any new Sims like that we should add, because I will leave room in like the housing area. But yeah, what we're going to see next time is Daisuke and Ariana kind of meeting for the first time. And then we have to get high enough friendship to actually arrange a marriage. And then, I should give Ariana a bad reputation so that people don't like her. And then we'll have an engagement party to introduce her to everybody. We'll have the wedding, and then it'll be awkward for her. So that's kind of where we're starting off with, where Ariana is going to be not accepted by these people, and Daisuke is going to be very frustrated with the situation because he didn't want this to happen. He wanted to marry someone from their culture and have that person kind of be the person, kind of once and for all stop the problem of saying that his family is full of outsiders. Like, keep in mind, Joffrey came and he was an outsider. His son was like him, not like his warrior sisters. They didn't view him as a king of the people. So finally, Daisuke comes here and he's the king they've always wanted, and they finally can have what they want and him marry someone from there, and everyone feels good. And then randomly, no, we're adding outsiders to the family once again. How many generations is it going to take us to be accepted, So we'll have to deal with that. We'll also have to deal with meddling from Ariana's father, and just struggle. So I hope you guys are excited for this story. I am too. I'm very excited about this option. We can start by rolling to see what kind of madness. Sorry, another yawn. Oh my gosh. We'll start rolling to see what kind of madness is going to take place. And honestly, they are my main household, but I am not going to be super attached to them. I probably will be, but I'm going to try not to be, because I am going to leave it open for another family to take over, or something to happen. So I am totally open to all of that. So I am excited about it, and I hope you are too. And I will catch you in the next one.